Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I'm back home again tonight, and yesterday I didn't get to read in the book On the Banks of Plum Creek because I went to Ashland and I forgot to take the book. So we're going to read about it. Read a chapter tonight. Chapter 21, Nellie Olesen. Now, if you remember from a couple days ago, Nellie Olesen was not very nice to Laura and Mary. In fact, she was kind of snobby, thought she was better than them because they were country girls. Okay, Jack was waiting to meet them at the ford that night, the crossing of the river. And at supper, they told Pa and Ma all about school. When they said they were using the teacher's slate, Pa shook his head. They must not be beholden for the loan of a slate, so they couldn't borrow one. Next morning, he took his money out of the fiddle box and counted it. He gave Mary a round silver piece to buy a slate. Remember, that's kind of like a blackboard. There's plenty of fish in the creek, he said. We'll hold out till wheat harvest. There'll be potatoes pretty soon too, said Ma. She tied the money in a handkerchief and pinned it inside Mary's pocket. Mary clutched that pocket all the way along the prairie road. The wind was blowing. Butterflies and birds were flying over the waving grasses and wildflowers. The rabbits lopped before the wind, and the great clear skies curved all over. Laura swung the dinner pail and hippity-hopped. In town, they crossed the dusty main street and climbed the steps to Mr. Olesen's store. Pa had said to buy the slate there. Inside the store, there was a long board counter. The wall behind it was covered with shelves full of tin pans and pots and lamps, lanterns and bolts of colored cloth. By the other wall stood plows and kegs of nails and rolls of wire, and on that wall hung saws and hammers and hatchets and knives. A large, round, yellow cheese was on the counter, and on the floor in front of it was a barrel of molasses. Molasses is a sweet liquid. And a whole keg of pickles, and a big box full of crackers, and 2 tall wooden pails of candy. It was Christmas candy. 2 pails full of it. Suddenly, the back door of the store burst open, and Nellie Olesen and her little brother Willie came bouncing in. Nellie's nose wrinkled at Laura and Mary, and Willie yelled at them, "Yah, yah, long-legged snipes." "Shut up, Willie," Mr. Olesen said. But Willie did not shut up. He went on singing, "Snipes, snipes." Nellie flounced by Mary and Laura and dug her hands into the pail of candy. Willie dug into the other pail. They grabbed all the candy they could hold and stood cramming it into their mouths. They stood in front of Mary and Laura, looking at them, and did not even offer them 1 piece. That's rude. "Nellie, you and Willie go right back out of here," Mr. Olesen said. They went on stuffing candy into their mouths and staring at Mary and Laura. Mr. Olesen took no more notice of them. He just ignored them. Mary gave him the money, and he gave her the slate. He said, "You'll want a slate pencil too. Here it is, 1 penny. Nellie said, "They haven't got a penny." "Well, take it along and tell your pa to give me the penny next time he comes to town," said Mr. Olesen. "No, sir, thank you," Mary said. She turned around, and so did Laura, and they walked out of the store. At the door, Laura looked back, and Nellie made a face at her. Nellie's tongue was streaked red and green from the candy. "My goodness," Mary said. "I couldn't be as mean as that Nellie Olesen." Laura thought, I could be meaner to her than she is to us if Ma and Pa would let me." They looked at their slate's smooth, soft gray surface and its clean, flat wood frame, cunningly fitted together at the corners. It was a handsome slate, but they must have a slate pencil. Pa had already spent so much for the slate that they hated to tell him they must have another penny. They walked along soberly till suddenly Laura remembered the Christmas pennies. They still had those pennies that they had found in their stockings on Christmas morning in Indian Territory. Mary had a penny, and Laura had a penny, but they needed only one slate pencil. So they decided that Mary would spend her penny for the pencil, and after that she would own half of Laura's penny. Next morning they bought the pencil, but they did not buy it from Mr. Olsen. They bought it at Mr. Beadle's store and post office where the teacher lived, and that morning they walked on to school with the teacher. All through the long, hot weeks they went to school, and every day they liked it more. They liked reading and writing and arithmetic. They liked the spelling down on Friday afternoons, and Laura loved recess, when the little girls rushed out into the sun and the wind, picking wildflowers out along the parade grasses and playing games. The boys played games on one side of the schoolhouse, and the girls played games on the other side. And Mary sat with the other big girls, ladylike, on the steps. The little girls always played Ring Around a Rosie because Nellie Olesen said to. They got tired of it, but they always played it. Till one day, before Nellie could say anything, Laura said, "Let's play Uncle John." Let's, the girls said, taking hold of hands, but Nellie grabbed both hands full of Laura's long hair and jerked her flat to the ground. "No, no," Nellie shouted. "I want to play Ring Around the Rosie." Laura jumped up and her hand flashed out to slap Nellie. She stopped just in time. Pa said she must never strike anyone. "Come on, Laura," Christy said, taking her hand. Laura's face felt bursting, and she could hardly see, but she went, circling with the others around with Nellie. Nellie tossed her curls and flounced her skirt because she had her way. Then Christy began to sing, and all the others joined in. "Uncle John is sick in bed. What shall we send him?" "No, no, Ring Around the Rosie," Nellie screamed, "or I won't play." She broke through the ring, and no one went with her. And here's what she looked like when she attacked poor Laura. "All right, you get in the middle, Maud," Christy said. They began over. "Uncle John is sick abed. What shall we send him? A piece of pie and a piece of cake, apple and a dumpling. What shall we send it in? A golden saucer. Who shall we send it by? The governor's daughter. If the governor's daughter ain't at home, who shall we send it by?" Then all the girls shouted, "By Laura Ingles." Laura stepped into the middle of the ring and they danced around her. They went on playing Uncle John till teacher rang the bell. Nellie was in the schoolhouse crying, and she said she was so mad that she was never going to speak to Laura or Christy again. But the next week she asked all the girls to a party at her house on Saturday afternoon. She asked Christy and Laura specifically. I wonder why she wants to do that. Do you think she's ready to be their friend now? Well, we will find out tomorrow. It's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I post a video. I hope you're enjoying it, and I love it, love when I get comments. Please leave me a comment. I will say goodnight for now. So I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming.